Administrators, teachers, and other school staff need resources to make evidence-based decisions for the students in their schools. The Works Clearinghouse, or WWC, gives these educators, as well as policymakers, parents, and administrators, access to research and policy findings that can help them support their students. At the Cleveland Metropolitan School District, educators use the WWC in several ways to provide evidence-based student support in their schools. Administrators use Find What Works, a WWC tool, to identify education programs, products, practices, and policies that can inform strategic planning and continuous improvement throughout the year.
So the expectation for our building principals from network leaders is for them to be data savvy. So as a network leader, if the expectations for them to be data savvy, then I also have to engage in the practice of evaluating and assessing data as well. Works Clearinghouse gives me that lens to look at the instruments that potentially are being used inside of our buildings, as well as those that might be used in our buildings, to assess whether or not they're going to be a perfect fit for the things that we're charged to do for our students. So one story that comes to mind is that buildings right now, some of the buildings are looking at considering new math curriculum. And so part of my role as a network leader is to be a thought partner. And so as I began reviewing some of the resources within Works Clearinghouse, it was one that a building was considering using for their math curriculum. So when I pulled up the research and showed them that it did not have a high correlation of providing and showing results, they quickly took that data, showed it to their teachers, and they went a different direction.
In addition to Find What Works, many educators in Cleveland use the WWC Practice Guides, which summarize key findings from across many studies and provide evidence-based recommendations.
The practice guide used as a resource has really helped inform the strategy when we're writing our academic achievement plans. So I believe in having a team of educators across my building participate in identifying strategies to move the building forward. And one of the things that tends to happen is we confuse strategy with program, and the practice guides do a great job of offering evidence-based strategies that have proven success that we can implement outside of just a program. Our school does what we call student support team, which is essentially response to intervention. And as a part of that, we found that our staff was struggling with identifying ways to reach our students that were exhibiting behavior that was less than desirable. So we used the practice guide, Reducing Behavior Problems in the Elementary School Classroom, to really help guide that work and begin to implement some strategies to reduce the problematic behavior and see an increase in the desired behavior.
Principal Lee Buddy from Wade Park School also relies on the WWC Practice Guides to implement practical changes in the classroom.
One recent application of using one of the resources from WWC was teaching elementary students to be effective writers. So our teachers dived in through one of the articles to look at what were some best practices and really to re-examine their own beliefs and what they were doing in their classroom. One of the things that we pulled out from the resource was really helping students to write across the curriculum. So we developed a plan to ensure that across all disciplines, students were writing. In addition to us encouraging all of our teachers to ensure that every student is writing across the curriculum, our writing plan now includes every teacher teaching the actual writing process and making sure that it's happening every day in every classroom. WWC is a great resource for teachers and students here in Cleveland because they take it from the lens of what's really working in education, what are best practices in the field, and what's really working. Reviewing the different resources that are available for our staff, we've been able to pull out a variety of items that is helping us close the achievement gap and make learning possible for all students.
These examples illustrate how school administrators, teachers, and other staff can use WWC resources as tools to make evidence-based decisions in the classroom. The Works Clearinghouse provides the Cleveland Metropolitan School District with the resources it needs to inform administrators and teachers on the best practices in education. It has become a trusted source for their work. The WWC is an investment of the U.S. Department of Education's Institute of Education Sciences. For more information, please visit us at whatworks.ed.gov.